Welcome back to Exposed. Each month on the show, we interview a youth role model. So, Jessica, who was this month's youth role model?
This month's youth role model was 17-year-old Jeremy White. He's accomplished a lot in Ganawaga's radio industry, so I met up with him at his home studio. This month's youth role model is Jeremy White. Jeremy is 17 years old and he's already established himself well within Ganawaga's media industry. You've probably heard him on K103 radio or seen him on local television. So Jeremy, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, hey, thanks a lot, man. It's really cool to be, on the show. I'm a big fan of the show, so it's awesome to be here.
So you started interning at K103 when you were 15 years old, and that's when you really got your foot in the door. So what?
Literally, I got my foot in the door. I showed up on the back porch. Lance DeLille was there. Chuck Barnett was there, and I showed up to show Lance DeLille a couple of my Eddie Van Halen guitars that I had acquired. And Chuck just happened to like me, and the DJ that was supposed to be coming the next day had the day off. And I just jokingly said, "Oh, hey, how about I come in, just intern for the day or something like that?" And I went in the next day, loved it, and I've been there ever since.
So you're 15 years old, and most teenagers your age, you'd be, I guess, enjoying sleeping in until you have to catch the bus. So what interests you in the radio industry?
Well, I honestly, back when I was in grade 7, I've always been a big fan of radio. I've always been a big fan of Ted Bird. When I was in grade 7, I remember pirating their sound effects and stuff when he was on Show'em. I remember pirating his sound effects, getting up in the morning and plugging my radio into my computer so that way I can pirate his sort of their sound effects and stuff like that, and I put it on my iPod, to split songs and stuff like that, and do fake talkovers and stuff like that. So I've always had an interest in radio. I just didn't know how to get into it, and then once I did get into it, I realized I sort of got pulled into it in a way. But no regrets. Love it. I love doing what I do, and it's just a really, really great. It's a really cool career. The people that I've met since I got into it, and the people that I'm going to continue to meet, I've gotten to interview so many of my my youth role models. I'm a big fan of classic hard rock and hair metal, and with my rock show, I've gotten to interview all kinds of people like Michael Sweet from Stryper, Joey Allen from Warrant, big fan of Firehouse. I got to interview the guitarist Bill Leverty. So with radio, a lot of great things come out of it. You get to talk to people and meet people that you don't necessarily think that you're going to meet, but sort of get to do that. And it's a really cool industry to get into.
So right now you're hosting the country weekends on K103. So I guess since you're interning until now, what have you been doing at K103? You mentioned the Rock Rewind. Are you still doing that right now?
I'm still doing the Rock Rewind. It's every Friday. We're right after bingo. It's classic hard rock and hair metal all the way until 1 o'clock. I take a lot of requests, and it's classic hard rock hair metal from AC/DC to Motley Crue to ZZ Top to Van Halen. It's everything, 80s basically. But I try to incorporate a lot of new stuff in there as well. Night Ranger just came out with a brand new album. I'm playing that. I interviewed Kelly Kiki from the band. And but yeah, I'm still doing that. It's Friday nights, and the reaction that I've gotten from a lot of people in Ganawage is just amazing. People just enjoy the music. They enjoy me hosting the show. So, and it's sort of something that they look forward to every week after they play bingo. So it's a really cool show, and of course the country weekend's very different. I've sort of taken the concept of a rock show and implemented it into a country show. So you have longer music, you have longer playlists. I've taken the less talk, more pop aspect into it. So it's a lot more music, it's a lot more fun, and it's a lot more engaging, I find, and interactive with the listener as well. So I do that Saturday and Sunday. I'm the weekend morning show host, basically, at K103, and I've been doing that for about 2 months now. I sort of got pulled into that one as well. Yeah. So that's another day though, that story.
So on top of not just hosting those 2 shows, you also do all the work behind the scenes.
I do a lot of work behind the scenes when it comes to production elements and stuff like that. Everything you hear on my rock show and on my country shows, everything is produced and written by me, engineered as well. So all the sound effects, that Rock Rewind with Jeremy White, the weekend mornings with Jeremy White, all that stuff, that's all produced by me right here. all week, and it's basically a 24/7 effort. I never stop working on a lot of the stuff I do, and when it comes to production stuff like that, and basically the sound of my shows, I take a lot of pride in that, because I have a concept and I know where I want to get. I don't necessarily know how to get there sometimes, but I'm going to work at it to get there. And that's what sort of drives me. You know, with the stuff that I do, anybody could have done that. The difference between me and others is that I've worked harder, you know.
So what do you like better? Do you like just, I guess, being that voice on the radio, or do you like the technical stuff?
I like the freedom that K103 gives me, because not only am I allowed to be on the air, but I also do a lot of production stuff as well. So it's a cross between. I'm a big recording and engineering freak, so when it comes to stuff like that, I love doing it. So that's what I mean. It gives me the best of both worlds at K103, because not only do I get to be the man on the air, but I also get to be the man behind the scenes. So it gives me that freedom, and I just love doing that.
So I guess on top of radio, one of your big pastimes is music.
That's right. Yeah, I'm a full-blown musician. I've been playing guitar since I was about, I don't know, maybe 10, grade 5-ish. So I would say that. But guitar is my main instrument. Drums is my second. Then of course, you know, bass, keys, all that stuff. Because of high school, I played clarinet. So, but yeah, that's what I do. It's a little bit about me. Not a lot of people know about what I do. They hear me on the radio and stuff like that. But really, behind the scenes, I play a major role as well.
Mm-hmm. So a few weeks ago, you announced that you'll be working at 92.5 The Beat Montreal. Mm-hmm. It's so exciting. Like, how did that come about?
It is. Well, I mean, it's really history in the making, because to my knowledge, and I've talked to a lot of people in Ganawage, there's never been a person from Ganawage that's been an official announcer DJ at a major Montreal radio station. A couple of people have done traffic for, you know, a couple of radio stations, and a couple of people have done news and, you know, anchored sports and stuff like that for the community, but nobody's ever really been an official announcer on a major Montreal radio station. So I'm sort of the very first person to be doing that. So it's basically history in the making, and it's really, really amazing what's going on with me right now. I got the job at 925 The Beat of Montreal a couple of weeks ago, and what happened was, the story is that I was at work at K103, and I got the phone call from the program director at 925 The Beat, and I didn't believe him at first. And I was sitting in front of my computer, so he told me his name, so I looked him up on Facebook, and sure enough, it was really him. And I sent him. We talked for an hour just about life and music and stuff like that, and he asked me to send him a demo. So he listened. I recorded it on the spot, literally like 30 seconds after I hung up the phone. Recorded a quick break, fake talk, you know, radio talk. Sent it over to him. He listened to it, played it for the general manager. The general manager of The Beat was amazed with it. He was like, this kid's 17 years old. We want him. So he emailed me back within like 20 minutes. He's like, can you come by to the station on Monday? So, you know me, not expecting, you know, anything. Just show up, you know, see what's going on. Maybe I could learn something from them. And sure enough, we just talked, and he offered me a job. And it wasn't even one of the jobs that were open. He basically created the position for me to have me on his staff. So that was pretty amazing.
So when can Ganawage hear you on that?
I'm going to be doing overnights. You can catch me Wednesdays, midnight to 5 in the morning. It's an all-night party. It's pretty fun. Don't be afraid to give me a call, 514-790-0925. Glad to hear from you. But yeah,
You're gonna get a whole bunch of like prank calls from like people.
It's funny. I ran into Donna Saker today in the offices, and she was saying, you know, I'm usually up at that time 2 in the morning. I like doing prank calls, so you might hear from me. Donna Saker is the afternoon host over there. So, but yeah, it's really going to be fun. I mean, it's definitely a new adventure, and I expect to do nothing but go in there and learn. That's what my goal is. Go in there, learn as much as I can, and just be the best that I can be. And that's my goal when I get in there. And hopefully I can bring some of that knowledge back into Ganawage.
So you're only 17, and you've already like accomplished so much. What are some of your future plans?
Well, I mean, I like I said, I do a lot of things. I love radio. I love, you know, music. Music and radio is basically my life. You know, music, you don't, I consider, Alex Van Halen once said, he was the drummer of my favorite band of all time, Van Halen, always said, you don't play music, you live it. And that's what I'm doing right now. You know, I'm just having a blast. I'm so happy right now. Nothing could absolutely go wrong in my life right now. It's the happiest I've been in a while. And things are going really great for me. And nobody else has done this. I've done it for me, you know. I've had help along the way, but at the end of the day, I've done this for me, and it's what I want to do. And I'm hoping, you know, hope to go far in it. You know, it's going to be quite the adventure. I'll say that much. So.
Well, congratulations, and thanks again for letting me interview you.
Oh, no problem. At any time.